can be free. I take the weight on my shoulders. I feel the sky come down on me. And I can't hold it much longer. Gonna let go so I can be free. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
That's a good call, Kratz. Don't touch my drum set.
Yep. You look so
AJ
much
has
more
a new
happy.
chair. Okay. Todd, Kratz, and note to myself: we're not allowed to sit in his chair.
That's right.
You look uncomfortable, AJ. You look all like,
Oh, I'm leaned back perfectly.
oh, you
feel
look
great.
terrible.
Oh,
That's a good smile.
it has back support. It's ergonomic.
It's not movie quality.
I mean, it's not quite the chair that I originally had with no support. Hence why I've been to the doctor like 700 times for my back.
I'm sure
I
it's the
thought you
chair's
had no
fault.
injuries.
Well, I didn't until this. I sat in that chair over there.
Whose
So, hey,
fault
kids.
is that? Whose fault, AJ?
Mark.
Yep.
Hey, kids, don't be a big league catcher because you might be good, then be on a show after your career and have a bad chair and hurt your back.
And then you have to buy your own new chair.
That's right. Times are tough. All right, so we're
You're
about
just allowed to
to.
sit in it. That's it.
That's fine. No
It's
problem.
too hard
I
for
want
I
a
you.
won't
picture
sit in
of
it
you
when,
sitting in
Soft
it.
skin, you might rupture it.
when you're in here. I will not sit in it.
Prove it.
Todd Rosiak's going to join us in 1 minute. I just want to do like a quick trivia question with you. I just came across this before we start. So in the Athletics newsletter this morning, they put a list of the leaders in career earnings per position. Do you guys know any of them besides A-Rod? I'm going to take him off the table. Like, who's made the most as a catcher?
Of all time?
Career earnings.
I mean, Joe Mauer's got to be high.
That's it. You got it. That was good.
I mean,
Anyone else
even
have
though he played
guesses?
first base that whole time.
Second base,
That's
Jose
catcher.
Altuve.
It's right now. Eventually, Altuve will.
Ian
Yeah.
Kinsler.
It's Robinson Cano.
Yeah, Cano.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And also, Altuve actually might not be the guy because Todd father, Mookie Betts, is moving to second base.
Oh.
So then if we go years from now, Mookie's going to be higher than Altuve.
Mm.
It's a fun game, though. Anyone else? Want to do one
Albert
more?
Pujols, first base.
Nope.
I mean, shortstop's got to be Seager.
No, shortstop's A-Rod.
Oh, A-Rod.
A-Rod. A-Rod. Well, he was third baseman, though.
Right, both. I don't know how they
Mike
split
Trout,
that
center
up.
field.
Yes. Trout for
Bryce-
outfield.
Bryce
They just did
Harper.
outfield.
Right field.
Right, they did outfield.
Hmm.
You want me to give you first base, and then we'll go to our guest?
Freddie Freeman.
Miggy.
Oh, I forgot
But
about him.
again, it gets
for
a little
long.
wonky because
Yeah.
the
Mike
third and the
Cabrera.
first and the whole thing. So
Miguel.
anyway, for clarity on the Milwaukee Brewers situation, which is the fresh signing of the day, Todd Rosiak joining us right now. You can follow him at Todd_Rosiak, covers the Brewers for the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Todd, great to have you on. Can you describe what the plan is for the Milwaukee Brewers? Not long term, we know that, but in 2024?
Yeah, the Sanchez thing, if it does come to fruition, is pretty interesting. You look at them trading away Corbin Burns last week, and since then, they've taken that money that they would have spent on Corbin and allocated it to Jacob Junis, now Gary Sanchez, and the two youngsters they got from the Orioles for Burns. So able to plug some holes that they had existing. And I think kind of the plan is if Sanchez, passes his physical and everything, you're looking at a team that's going to be built more around offense and also the bullpen. And then, trying to piece together that starting rotation as best as possible.
Okay, so this was a strictly – because I'm so confused with what the Brewers are doing. I can't figure it out. You trade Corbin Burns. You get two pieces back, right? But then you have William Contreras as your everyday catcher. He's pretty darn good. So where's Gary Sanchez going to play? Is he a DH? Is William Contreras okay with being a part-time catcher now, basically? Is he going to play first because you signed Bowers and you have – let's not forget behind the plate you have Nola and you also have Haas back there. So this to me was a confusing sign. Listen, I'm happy Gary Sanchez got some money, found a place to play, but to me it just didn't make sense to the team he signed with.
Yeah, all good questions. And really, the Brewers, if you go back the last few years, offense has needed a jump start for sure. And, William Contreras obviously had a great year last year, does real well when he's in that DH slot as well. So I think what you're going to see is kind of a combination. You're going to have Contreras and Gary Sanchez out there pretty much every day, and one of them's going to be catching, one of them's going to be DHing. And, don't forget Rhys Hoskins as well. That's another guy that I think you could see mixed into that DH role, as well as Christian Yelich, too. So, this is a team that 2 years ago had Andrew McCutchen as the DH, was okay, not as good as they thought he was going to be. Last year, Jesse Winker just did not work out. So at least they've got some really good proven options now that they can kind of rotate through that DH spot, to help bolster that offense.
Before I ask my question, I'm just going to give a shout out to Eric Haas, because I was in that situation. I thought I was coming to join a really awesome team, and then whammo, they went and got somebody else. So wear it, Eric Haas. I understand and I feel for you. But my question is, my question is,
Austin
what's
Nola
next?
too. Don't forget about Nola. He's also there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Haas is on the 40-man.
No, they're both non-roster.
Haas is on the roster.
Haas is on the 40-man.
Oh, Haas is on the roster. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're both non-roster guys.
So I feel for his plight. But what's next for the Brewers? Are there still moves? Because didn't see this move happening. We spent 10 minutes trying to find my friend Gary Sanchez a job somewhere in the game, and we didn't expect it to be, backing up a platinum glove winner.
Yeah, Eric, first of all, good to see you again, man. Been a while. Always good to work with you back in the day. It's interesting. The Brewers have been very good at this. I don't know if I'd call them stealth signings or stealth acquisitions, but they tend to wait in the weeds. And as you get closer to spring training, and guys, I think, and their agents, they're getting a little bit more nervous about, hey, we need a job here. We got to get going. The Brewers in past years have been able to land themselves some really good players and some really good deals. I'm not sure how long the conversations were going with Gary Sanchez. But again, if you can add an impact bat like that, a guy who, you can probably, if he's healthy, pencil in for, anywhere between 20 and 30 homers. He's also defensively very underrated. I was actually surprised looking at the metrics for him defensively. That's an acquisition you got to make. And, it sounds like it's going to be a 1 year with an option. So, if it works out for both parties this year, great. And then you kind of reassess going into next year again.
You had a really interesting article about, 5 answers that need to be made with the Brewers. It might be a 2-part question, but I want you to talk about this young resurgence, or the resurgence of these young ball players the Milwaukee Brewers have. 9 guys came up into the big leagues last year. And then my second part to that would be, Christian Yelich didn't have that MVP caliber season that we're used to, as you talked about. Can you see him kind of moving around a little bit, maybe a little DH or somewhere else?
Yeah. Todd Father, first of all, I dug out a little souvenir here. Remember those?
Yes, nice.
I'm good buddies with James Mims, and I got a huge collection of these. So thought you get a kick out of seeing that.
That's awesome.
Wait, describe that for there's a crowd later that'll listen to this and not be able to see it. What do you got?
So I'm in my early 50s, and I grew up. Many guys wore these. They're called Mims bands, wristbands, and they had the pictures of players on them that wore them. A number of Hall of Famers. And Todd, at a point in his career, and he's with the Reds, was lucky enough to be able to wear these. And there's a really big kind of almost a cultish following for these things. I've got hundreds of them, actually. They're kind of vintage now. So just thought Todd would get a kick out of seeing that again.
Yes, for sure.
That's cool.
Anyway, I'll work backwards. As far as Christian Yelich goes, great year last year, resurgence. I think everybody was really excited to see that. Right now, it looks like the role for him is going to be playing left field most days, and then kind of alternating into that DH role when that works out best. The back is always going to be an issue for Christian. He's on if you want to call it, the wrong side of 30 right now, and it did kind of bite him a little bit toward the end of last year. But obviously a lot to build on for him coming out of 2023. And that group of young players that you talk about, it's very exciting, I think, for Brewer fans and for the Brewers themselves. This is an organization that's worked really hard to bolster that farm system. And earlier this week, I believe it was, or maybe late last week, Baseball America ranked them as the second best farm system in baseball now, behind the Orioles. So you've got really that influx of young talent that came in last year, the Sal Freliks, the Joey Wiemers, the Bryce Terangs, the Abner Uribes. And then this year you've got guys like Robert Gasser, potentially Jacob Mizorowski. So you've got Tyler Black, pieces that are going to be plugged in, if not coming out of spring training very early in the season, and are going to be filling really major roles for this team. So they've done a really good job of kind of threading the needle between utilizing that veteran leadership and talent that you obviously need, as well as kind of that youthful exuberance that you need as well.
Hey, Todd, I'll tie two questions together. So where do you put the Brewers right now in the National League Central, coming off winning the division by 9 games? And I'd like what the Reds did, but the rest of the division has been pretty quiet, especially the Cubs. And I want to tie that into my other question, with the Brewers being pretty active pre and post Burns trade. Why didn't they just pay an extra couple mil a year and keep Craig Counsell if they genuinely said they loved him that much?
Again, I'll work backwards. I'll start with the Counsell thing first. I really honestly think that Craig Counsell was just dead set on leaving and trying to, I don't know if you want to call it, expand his horizons, challenge himself, whatever the case may be. I didn't see him leaving for just any job. I think everybody had kind of pegged him to going to the Mets. In reality, I don't think that was ever going to happen. The Cubs thing just turned out to be a perfect fit for him, and I think he's really going to relish kind of that fresh start and the challenge that it's going to be for him to get the Cubs back to the World Series. So it was a tough probably month to 6 weeks here in Milwaukee for fans. Not only seeing Craig Counsell leave, but leave for the bitter rival. But I think the page has been turned, and I think people are excited to see what Pat Murphy can do. And, as far as the Brewers go in the Central Division, I think this is going to be, again, a division that's kind of up in the air. Yes, the Brewers did run away with it late, but it was pretty competitive throughout most of last year. And, the Brewers certainly have questions. I think the starting pitching is obviously the biggest one. But I think the Brewers did a good job of addressing those other needs that they have. And while I don't think I'm going to predict that they're going to run away with the division or even necessarily win it this year, I definitely think if they stay healthy and they get the contributions that they think they're going to get from everybody across the board, I certainly think they're going to be in the hunt up there to the end.
Fair. All right. I like it. Well, Todd, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. And we'll see what other kind of weird, interesting moves the Brewers make over the next couple of weeks.
You got it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Todd Rosiak. You can follow all his work in the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel if you want to check it out online, or follow him at Todd_Rosiak, Rosiak. Before we bring in our next guest, Kratz, this is your day. You talk up Gary Sanchez. I'm not even saying it in a mocking
It is his
way.
like I have Corbin Burns, this one little card. Kratz has like a whole wall of Gary Sanchez stuff.
And I will give him
so
credit.
many Gary Sanchez things.
I did some homework, okay? William Contreras was a 5-win player from Fangraphs WAR last year.
Yeah.
And as a whole, do you know which team had the best F-WAR among catchers?
Well, it's got to be the Brewers.
6.5.
Him and Caratini.
Who's
We got
gone?
$12 million.
Yeah. So give us your best. I'm not knocking Gary. I like the move. It's just obviously some fans are like, you're pulling at my heartstrings.
What do you mean pulling out heartstrings?
Well, they traded away Corbin Burns, and then some of these signings are 1-year deals. So you're, competing for 2024, which I'm always good with. But is this a World Series team?
You don't need to make the World Series. You just need to make the playoffs. And then anything can happen with a Freddie Peralta and an all-star DL Hall. They added offense here. They added a plus 110 OPS plus somewhere in there into Gary Sanchez at a position that you're going to need to get 40 games out of your catcher. Gone are the days where AJ Pierzynski catches 135 games a season. And so it keeps his legs fresh. They added some DH pop. And to me, it's at a low value, especially when you talk about WAR. So it's legit. I think it's a good signing. And like you said, I thought it should have been a 2-year deal, but this is clearly all that he had on the table from anybody.
By the way, he's hitting all these homers against the Brewers. So out of the homers he hit,
I saw that.
are they all against the Brewers?
No, it was well pulled footage.
I mean, jeez.
That's the FT team behind the scenes finding the good stuff.
Who didn't
Everybody
like
liked
hitting in
there.
Milwaukee? I mean, everyone liked hitting there.
Yep.
Todd Father, you probably played more than all these guys. Oh wait, Todd, you're muted.
Excuse me.
you?
I did like
Oh, there
playing
you go.
there. Excuse me. Yes,
Yeah.
I did a lot.
Yeah, so there you go. All right, so we'll see what happens.
I don't
Also,
know. It just is weird. Like I asked the other Todd, where does he fit? Because you have Contreras, you have Rhys Hoskins at first, you have Jake Bauers, you have Haas, you have Nola there in camp. I mean, he's going to make the team, but how does he fit? It's gonna be fascinating to watch where he fits.
they don't care about telling catchers fuck off. Kratz is on the show as the prime example.
No, but as an everyday thing is what I'm saying.
Yeah, him and William.
Call me naive. I'm just confused why you do this. Get Hoskins, get Sanchez, and then you trade away your best pitcher. That's where I'm confused. Maybe somebody can
They
enlighten
were
me
trading
on.
him. They were going to trade him away.
Yeah, I know, but why? Why would you do that when you get a couple other guys that fit the mold? I don't know. Call me crazy.
If also, life in baseball is about winning a World Series if you can.
Yeah.
So
Right.
if they got into the dance this year and their 1-2 was Burns and Peralta, and maybe Mizorowski gets really good right away or whatever, yeah, maybe they can sneak into a World Series. I don't know. Just saying. All right, let's bring in our next guest, Tommy Kahnle, joining us right now on FT Live. Tommy, did you have run-ins with Gary Sanchez? Did you guys cross paths on the Yanks?
Sure did. It's my guy.
All right, give us the lowdown. He just signed.
Yeah, I saw that. What was it? Was it yesterday or today? I think it was yesterday, right? Or am I
Last
losing
night
my
it was
mind?
announced. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Gary. Well, no, and I came up through the minors with Gary. So first time I met him, I think he was 16 or 17, and we were in Charleston, low A ball. Everybody talked about him. He was our, the big prospect kid. I had no idea what was going on. I was 21 years old at that time. I didn't know what prospects, or I didn't really care at all. So, but it's funny thing is, like, I first watched him, I go, holy shit, this kid can hit. I'm watching him, he's hitting backside nukes at 17. I'm like, this kid's 17-year-old. He should be like a junior in high school. And he impressed me right from the get-go. But so I played with Gary coming up the whole way, and I always just loved watching him play the game. Me and him always had a good chemistry, pitching and catching. So I hit him as my catcher, basically because he knew coming up, he caught me for years, and he was very comfortable with me. So I always loved throwing to Gary and never had any issues. But quick funny story. So that year when he was 17, they used to have to keep the ice cream away from him. That was a big thing. Yeah, it was kind of funny. They had like our strength guy follow him around, telling him he couldn't have ice cream. We had the ice cream. It was a mess. He's a 17-year-old kid. What do you want him to do?
Everybody likes ice cream.
Exactly.
But my issue is, do you not like the sun? Good night, man. You look like you are like a gamer's delight. This is the most. You're going to get sunburned just on this 15 minutes that you're on with us here. You look like you're about to go to the hoops, go play some.
I love it.
Like, what jersey you got on there, kid?
Paulo, little Magic, baby.
Yeah, go Magic.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm been a Magic fan since I was a kid. Penny Hardaway, Shaq.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to the game Saturday. You want to go?
I wish.
He's not allowed out of house.
No, not now.
Just a kid.
First, just had another baby. It's
How's that
trucking
going,
right
bro?
now.
Yeah.
Yesterday was interesting getting down here. I tell you that.
Go on.
How did it go?
Man.
Because I know you're driving.
Paint a picture of it. Show us
No,
the
we didn't.
picture.
We flew here, but man, she is my dog. We get through security. It's all right. I got we got 3 suitcases, my baseball bag. I got snack bag, toy bag. My wife's got the 2 diaper bags. We got a big ass stroller. Got the little stroller that he's in, and bringing all this stuff, just 2 of us. So I'm just like, this is out of control. Get through security, instantly my daughter just bolts, just takes off, and I'm like, what am I supposed to, what am I doing right now? I'm trying to push the stroller. She takes off, leaving all this stuff. My wife's got the baby. Got to go feed him. That was within the first minute that we're in the airport. So I had that just tells you how the rest of the day went. Oh, it's been good.
Hey, I'll tell you right now. So spring training, you go a little earlier and you just stay a little longer, so you don't have to deal with all the nonsense when you get home. So that's a little word of advice there. I miss you, bro.
Man, I miss you.
Hey, having kids is great, dude. Don't worry about a thing. It's just gonna be all right, dude. I can't be serious with you because
great.
I know what we've been through. We've been with too many. Let me ask you let me try and get serious though. You guys got Marcus Stroman, another good pitcher, man. Talk a little about him. Have you talked to him yet? What is he going to bring to the table? I know he's got that swagger, and I know he's got that energy. So I know you love that. So go on about him.
The New York kid right there.
Yes,
that's
sir.
that Northeast in us. You know it. I like it. So we brought in Stroman. I mean, we at the time, I'm pretty sure everybody had us with just 4 starters. So glaringly, we needed another starter. We went out and got Stroman. I love it. We needed a guy. And I know he's not going to be afraid to take the ball and pitch in front of these fans. You know, I know he's animated. Everybody knows that. I mean, it's just that's him. That's his fire. I love it. So, you know, he was there today. I don't think I got to meet him. He kind of was like in and out. I know I was going to the training room, but what do you call it? We were playing with this crazy new device Nestor had. I don't even know what it was, to be honest. Some Apple product. I couldn't tell you. I'm not an Apple guy, but so far
Apple Vision Pro or whatever.
Is that what it is?
Right?
Yeah, I don't know what the heck was going on.
Think of how good your gaming would be on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I may not like that. I'm an old school guy. You need to sit down with a controller, you know?
Okay, fair. So
but
what do you got?
I'm pretty excited, you know, for to see Stroman pitch, man. You know, he comes with all the accolades. You know, he's been a great pitcher his entire career. I mean, that's exactly what we needed. We need a guy that's a gamer. He's going to give us innings. He's going to do well, and I think New York's going to fall in love with him. I mean, he grew up in New York. He knows. I think there's guys that, you know, they grew up in that area. They know how it is, and they know how the fans are, and they can get on you. But
no doubt,
you know, he's going to be all right.
Tommy, I want to go back to your story. What the heck does a pitcher need a baseball bag for? What do you got in there? Like pitching toes and like
5
spider
gloves?
tack?
Well, you know me. You've been around me, Kratz. You know I bring a lot of stuff. Usually bring a lot of stuff.
You're not bringing your caffeine pills to spring training.
No,
they're going to give them to you.
Yeah, we don't have those. So let's see here. You got to fit the Normatec in there. You got this is for on the road, you know.
Of course.
You got Normatec, Mark Pro. I got like my Venom elbow thing. What else we got in there? Power Dot, cleats, shoes that I like to wear. Then we got all my shirts. So you got to have wrestling shirts. We got to have, you know, those Roto wear shirts. I don't know what they are. What else we got in there?
What jerseys?
I got all my shakers.
Are in the bag?
No, jerseys were in my suitcase. A lot of them.
Which ones did you bring this year?
No Eagles. I can tell you that one.
I don't care about the Eagles. You're not even part of this. You're not even in the nest. It's totally fine.
Gone, flew away.
That's fine.
But we got Magic. Let's see. We got Bayern Munich. We got Carolina Tar Heels. We got my Irish. Let's see what else. We got Sabres. So and then USA soccer jerseys. I'm all over the place.
Kratzy, he's forgetting one thing in that bag.
A Rutgers jersey?
No, a 30-pack of Bud Heavies. So all day.
Oh man,
kid.
You gotta have a beer, you know.
Every once in a while, nothing wrong with that.
Never, nothing.
Tommy, did you heard us before you came on? Correct? You heard what we were talking about. You could hear a little bit of Kratz and Gary Sanchez talk and the Brewers talk, and Kratz said, "Oh, they don't got to get to the World Series and win the World Series. They just got to make the playoffs." Is that how it is in Yankee land? Because I'm pretty sure making the playoffs isn't good enough in most teams.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the fan base, they expect us to win every year. I mean, it's not even getting to the playoffs. So, but I know maybe the smaller markets out there, that's the fans will just probably love to get into the playoffs. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that at all. But when playing in New York, you're playing in LA, you're expected to get to the World Series no matter what. If you don't, failure no matter what. And I know it. I grew up around it, so I'm never shy away from it. I'm not scared of it. But it's hard. It's hard. But this year that's the goal. It's the goal every year. It's to win a World Series.
Hey, when you go, or while you're in spring training, when you start doing live pitching, you got to just think about this. You got Soto coming to the plate now. He does that little shuffle. Now he's on your team, dude. How excited are you for one? And, how excited are you to face a guy like that in live? Those newcomers, you got Verdugo, you got Trent Grisham, just to name a couple guys. Like, how excited to see those guys perform under the big lights?
I'm pumped, man. I'm super excited. I was talking to a couple of guys probably about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and I was saying this is one of the most excited I've ever been coming into camp. Like in how many years I've been playing baseball. So I was pretty pumped, and I was really excited there today. Today was my first day at the facility and stuff, and I was chatting up with everybody, and I think I don't think Soto was there yet. Verdugo, no, I didn't see him or Grisham, but I obviously very excited to see these guys. And playing against Grisham and Soto when I was over in LA for the 2 years, getting to pitch against them was a whole different animal. I mean, that rivalry was sick. The Dodgers Padres won when they were there, so I had a blast doing that, and I'm super excited to watch Soto, man. It's everything I've ever heard. A lot of guys will say it's the best hitter they've ever seen. So I'm excited to see this kid, and it was always fun watching him from afar. So it's going to be a blast. And then obviously you get Verdugo from Boston, played against him last year, and watching him when he was at LA all those years. So, man, some of these and they're all lefties, man. That's my specialty. So I'm sure I'm going to see all these guys in spring for sure, especially in lives.
Yeah, exactly. If you struggle in live, just be like, "Oh, it's your fault. You guys did well this offseason with the outfielders. What do you want from me?"
Yeah, right.
I have a question for you about a guy that's gone now, but he's still nearby. He's with the Mets. Luis Severino. What did you think of that signing for New York? And from your vantage point, what do you think went wrong? A lot of people actually had problems deciphering what the issue was because he was pumping the same velocity that he was thrown out there in the past. Some people had like the tipping rumors, but I don't think any of that was ever confirmed by anyone else that really found something obvious. I don't know.
Yeah. So last year, I mean, I personally think Sevy was battling some injuries that, kind of nobody really knew about, but it's just kind of like, you could tell like his fastball command just wasn't there at times. So he's always been known for a guy to have great fastball command. And I think he just kind of didn't have it as much last year. It's so I mean, I don't know if that's part of the issue. Sometimes you try to play through injuries and grind, you don't have your same stuff, you don't have your same command. I mean, I've been there, I know how it feels, especially when you're trying to push through injury and your command's just gone. And I mean, obviously not having a command as pitcher is huge. So, but he showed signs of life too with when he developed that cutter. And I think that's gonna be a big pitch this year for him. So I'm excited to watch him too. So I've always loved Sevy. He's a great dude, and I'm excited for him. He's gonna be in New York again, except for the other side. But I think there's a couple things that you don't see behind the scenes that people always kind of get on him about it and stuff. But I think he obviously like his velo was still there. Everybody was trying to say his velo wasn't there. His velo was definitely there. He was upper 90s, and I think he was just battling. Mental state, you just battle. So it didn't go well for him last year, but I think he's going to turn it around.
Hey, Tommy, so you just got asked a question by a guy who wears the tightest shirts on the planet because he likes to show off his biceps. I mean, listen, whatever. But we got a couple fans that want to know, why on earth do you wear your pants so tight, and when did that become a thing for you?
To be honest, I literally have worn like the same pants always, even when I was probably first in the minor leagues, because I always wore pants up. That was a staple that we had to do at New York. And I think, I don't know, I guess people always tell me I got big legs, so maybe that's a thing. I don't know.
Humble brag.
And
Got that thunder, baby. Got that thunder.
My guy, what was it? When I was a rookie, Matty Blau called me Girth Brooks because I had big legs. That was his nickname for me. So I think it just kind of the pants. The way I've always struggled with pants, jeans, anything like it's just too tight around my thighs, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Hey, you know, there's this thing. They have this cool thing in the big leagues. They bring a tailor in, and you can get whatever you want. Whatever you can make them baggier in the thighs, tighter. You can tight roll them like Garrett Crochet does, like New Kids on the Block used to do back before you guys were born. You know, I mean, you can do whatever you want to your pants. So, you know, the fact that you're just saying, "Oh, well, my thighs are just big," that just tells me you want to be the next Gerald Williams.
I just never even bothered. I just don't even care. Like they gave me the pair of pants. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll just wear them. And basically, they're like, do you want to change anything? I'm like, no, just stick with the same size. Who cares? And that's when I was like, first I was like 225, then gradually got up to about 245. And you probably expect, you know, you get a little heavier, you can get a little thicker. So it's probably the pants look tighter and tighter as the years went on. But so I don't know. I'm just not like, I just didn't feel like I don't know. They're like, do you want to change it? They're like, no, just go. I just want to go over there. I don't feel like dealing with this.
Okay, that's fine. I got to ask you another question. You talked about, Kratz asked you what was in your suitcase, and you said jerseys. You said wrestling shirts. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Being a former, and I guess I'm still current champion in wrestling. I have numerous belts that they haven't taken away from me yet.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite guy now? Or girl? Who's your favorite wrestler, I should ask?
Currently, I'd have to say Cody Rhodes. But all time, that's Sting and Bret Hart.
Okay. Did you see Sting won the tag team championship?
Yeah, tag titles. Oh, yeah.
And got his ass beat.
Yeah, he's the man, though. He's the man.
He's like 75 years old.
I love it, dude.
The face paint doesn't even work anymore. It's like falling off as before he gets
comes right off.
It's amazing. So who are your shirts you have then?
So we got a Sting, we got a Bret Hart, and I got about 4 or 5 Stone Colds. Trying to think, I might have brought my DX and NWO.
Are you going over? You're old school. You're old school.
Yeah.
You like watching your WWF, WWE, whatever it is. You're gonna go over to Netflix and watch it, or are you gonna wait
100%.
for Netflix to come out with their Boston Red Sox, your mortal rivals? Are you gonna go over there and watch that? To watch that.
Oh, I'm definitely watching. Look at that bell.
Yeah,
I love it. I didn't. You know what's sad?
There's numerous here, Tommy. I'm just saying this is just one that was given to me.
That's
little
perfect.
edge.
Yeah, but he's an AEW now, so it doesn't count.
Let's see. You were Chicago. AJ, you were there with Demon, right?
Oh, Demon and I whipped some people's asses in the ring.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
David Eckstein, Rick Eckstein, my bullpen catcher, then became a big league hitting coach. Weird career path. Beat his ass.
The Demon. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not too many people know about the Demon.
Ripped up David Eckstein's children's book. That was the best thing I ever did in my life in front of everybody. So I got, what's fun? I got to be a face first. I was a face, right? Bobby the Brain Heenan was my manager. It was awesome.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we got to beat Demon, and I got to beat the crap out of this guy named Simon Diamond. The TNA. We got the TNA X Division champions, right? We're like X, right? So the next year they have us come back, and they have David Eckstein, who was the World Series MVP the next year, and he's out there with his brother. And he's like, "Oh, I'm so happy to be here, and I just want to promote my children's book." So Demon and I come out of the stands. We're like, "This is bullshit. We're the baseball." Then I take his book, and I'm just like, and I rip it up in 1,000 pieces and throw it at him, and the crowd went crazy. And I'm like, "It's so much better to be the mean guy in this thing."
Yeah, every time.
Guy. Oh, every time.
You got to be the heel.
Way more fun.
Every time. Yeah, I remember Demon would show me videos of you guys. I was like, "No way!" I was like, "What?"
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was awesome. I got to get in on that. I need some of that.
You need
most
that.
nervous I've ever been in my life.
I need that.
Most nervous I've ever been.
I believe it. I'd be
way more than any baseball. Dude, because I tell the thing is this is the people's lives. Like this is their job to do this. I'm doing this one time.
And they're pros.
And they're professionals. And the guy's like, you get a chair, and the guy's like, hit me as hard as you can. I'm like, I'm gonna kill you if I hit you with this chair. He's like, you have to hit me harder. People are gonna know you pulled it. And I'm like, okay. Wham! And the chair's like completely dented around their head. And And they're like looking at me like, I'm okay. Thank God. Like, as they're laid out on the ground.
You're checking. Like,
Oh my God, thank God he's okay. No, seriously. But if I screw up, like people are like, oh, he's not a wrestler. But the dudes that are real wrestlers, if I screw up, it affects them.
yes.
So it's not just me. It's and man, I tell you what, it was fun though. It's fun time. If you get the opportunity to do it, I say do it.
Do it, Tommy.
Fuck. I got to do it. I need Todd though. Todd, you got to join.
I'm in. I was with Jerry the
You
King
know it.
Lawler last year, bro. Me and Jerry tag team.
What?
Yeah, it was.
You didn't
it
see
was-
that
I got to
video,
see
Tommy?
this.
He
No,
was
what
good.
is this?
Yeah, I'll send it to you later.
Yes,
Me and
you're
Jerry
gonna
the
need
King.
you need to text me that now.
Yes, it was phenomenal. It was for charity or whatever it was in our hometown here, but it was a lot
Oh
of fun.
my!
I'm
Tommy,
banging
you need a
people
new
with a
agent.
baseball bat.
I need new agent. I got to tell him. What are we doing here? You got to get me into some of this stuff, man.
Yeah,
Hey.
you got to wait until you're done playing though.
yeah.
Nah, dude,
Oh,
I did it.
no.
while
You
I
gotta
do
was
it while-
playing. What's
No,
the big deal?
Todd, and here we got 3 Yankee people that have either played on or are currently playing for the Yankees. Would they approve that?
No.
No.
They wouldn't let Aaron. They wouldn't let.
No freaking
They wouldn't let
way.
Aaron Hicks play golf. Do you think they're gonna let him get in the wrestling ring?
No
chance.
way. He is not allowed to wrestle until he's done.
He's in good enough shape.
Duh. I mean, in whatever amount of years when he's done, he'll be in good enough shape.
That's what I'm
Tommy, you'll be
saying.
fine.
No.
Yeah,
I got
right.
a
He's gonna be
fan.
way out of shape.
No.
No,
out of
no
shape.
way.
Off the
Yep.
top rope. What's gonna be your finishing move? You got to like go off the top rope.
It's gotta be Scorpion Deathlock.
All right.
100%. I'm
Isn't that the
gotta
same
be
as the
submission.
sharpsharpshooter? I mean,
Yeah,
you have a
same.
thing
That's
for
why.
the sharpshooter.
That's why I
right?
love
Same
my
mold?
guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
sharpshooter
said
and
it so
Scorpion
casually.
Deathlock.
All
Oh
right.
yeah.
Tommy, I got one more for you. I got a fan question.
right.
We're swinging back to baseball, okay? Station asks, any insight into the Yanks-Jays focus last season? And I'll actually double down. Do you think that's like your most bitter rival right now? Because remember you guys got in the beef where it was Judge Peakgate. They were like, oh, he's peaking. And then, Jay Jackson was it Jay Jackson who just signed, right?
Right,
Jay Jackson
yeah.
was tipping. Remember that whole deal?
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny to like think back. It feels like 10 years ago, but it was like 6 months ago.
It is funny. I like totally just forgot about it. I tried to wipe last year just out of my mind, but yeah, right now, I mean, biggest shot. Let's see. I mean, I would say probably a lot of the teams are good now. So the AL East is loaded. So are they still the top?
Don't even think about top. Like,
you
who's
still
the
got-
team that you guys like actually feel a little bit of beef with? Like, who's your rival? Because it used to be Yanks Red Sox for a while. I don't personally feel that when I'm watching right now,
Yeah.
but I felt that with the
still
Jays. Yeah,
Yeah, I
Rays,
feel like
dude.
still
What about
play
the
Red
Rays
Sox
for a
still.
while?
The Rays, y'all get into a fight. Yeah, the Rays and
Yeah,
Yankees
the
get into a fight like every time.
I would say the Rays is one of my something about it. Don't like them. I can say that, right?
Yeah,
so
of course you
that's fine.
can.
I appreciate that.
That's
I'm
very
like an
clean.
old school guy, man. I when I'm not on your team, I don't like you. Sorry, that's how it
I
works.
like that.
Yeah,
So there
I've
you go.
always
To
been-
answer the
I
fan
try to keep the
question,
old
you already
school
forgot
alive.
about the Blue Jays.
yeah. It's the 4 teams, man. I don't like any of them. I don't like them all.
I like
I respect you, but I don't like you. That's just how it is.
That's how it should be. I like that, especially from a future wrestler too. So
But that,
Yeah.
it's just the Red Sox thing still hits with me just because I think it's the fans. The fans hit it. They don't like each other, not one bit, and you can see it. They do not like each other, and I think that one sticks ahead still. Even though we struggled last year, they've been struggling, but it's still. I think that's number one. Obviously, the Rays is definitely up there. We had some beef with them. Definitely got beef with the Jays. I like it. I like the beef. It's good. Needs to be a thing in baseball still.
And the Orioles keep winning the division.
not keep. They won one.
They're next.
Boy. Oh,
They're next.
boy.
Here we
Hey,
go,
you're-
baby.
Hey, his manager just said their problem. Corbin Burns.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're good.
Gonna be
They're a good
fun.
team. They're good.
Hey,
It's gonna be
oh,
fun. I can't wait.
Before we let you go, you said you were at the field yesterday or this morning? This morning.
This morning. Yeah, I went this morning.
How is Nestor and Carlos Rodon? Are they healthy and ready to rock?
Yeah, it looked good. I actually threw at Nestor. Me and Nestor threw together. Rodon was throwing next to us. He's I think what's he get? Throwing live or something? I don't remember. To be honest, I was all over the place today. It's my first. It's like being back in school for the. I shouldn't. I feel like it's the last day of school. To be honest, way more excited. First day, you're like, nah, I don't want to go back. But that's what it felt like. Definitely
That's
not
actually a good
first day of
analogy.
school, but yeah. Like
I like it.
excited, I was all over the place. My mind was everywhere. I don't know what to say.
No, I like that. That's making me excited. We're gonna hit some camps, so we'll go to Tampa if they'll invite us, if they'll allow us in the gates. AJ and me will raid Tampa and we'll come say hi. All right. We might
Hell
need
yeah,
you
I
to
love
help
that.
us get in.
Yeah.
I'll try to work my
I
magic.
don't know if Zillow let us in. I don't
Right.
know if Zillow let us in though.
They don't even really listen to me anymore. It's just like the old guy. They're like, oh, this is the old guy. Get out of here.
Be like, hey, my friends are here. I just want to show them around for a couple hours, and we'll do a couple interviews. So,
But
we'll
I
see
did
you in a
throw
couple
in my
weeks then.
wrestling
We're gonna
shirt
come.
today. I'll tell you that.
What'd you have?
I was throwing in my cutoff wrestling shirt today. So I kept getting there like, what are you showing all these younger guys? I'm like, I don't know. What do you want me to do? It's not even. We haven't even started yet.
Yeah, it's your time.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if there's a problem, Tommy's got your back. We know that.
I said my face is kind of shaved.
Yeah, you're good.
I don't know
That's
if this flies, but it's close.
Tomorrow you
Is
good.
a lady gonna come by and she has like a? Does she do like this scratch test or what does she do?
Oh,
No, it's just it's usually Booney. Look you and just go.
Gene sends a
gotta-
message down to Booney.
She has done that. I've seen that too. I definitely have.
passes my test. I think you're good, Tommy.
Yeah, I think you should let it grow a couple more days.
Test them out. Little
See,
veteran test.
that way you know exactly how long it can be.
Yeah, there's a couple guys I walked in. I was like, really? Full beard?
Woo.
Jeez.
Full
Figure
beard.
it
That's
out.
got to change by next week, right?
Yeah, this could be gone.
Who had the thickest beard?
It's either got to be Glaber or Nestor.
I
Really
saw
growing it out right now.
Glaber's is nice. Nestor's is
Yeah, he
all
got-
nasty.
Nasty.
You can go all day. Tommy, go do your thing, dude. Go hang.
You know it. Thanks,
get some
guys.
video games in there for us too, please. And we'll see you in a couple weeks in spring training.
All
We'll
right,
come
you
raid
know it. For sure, guys. Appreciate it always. Take care. I'll see you guys soon.
See you soon. Thank you. Tommy Kahnle with us on FT Live. It's a good combo. I kind of forget that we're doing a show sometimes in those kind of combos. You know what I'm saying?
And then you get Claudia, who Scott does whatever he wants anyway. She's like, "You better hurry. We got so coming in next. Hurry up."
Go. Hey,
Is that what Claudia sounds like?
I mean, in my ear sometimes.
hey, Kratz, we might not have time for this.
Scott
and
doesn't hear it because he just does whatever he wants.
I do, and this is completely like just out of left field. But Kratz, you were away for a couple weeks, right? And there's been a few fans that have been commenting on some videos, and there was one at least just now in the chat that thinks you've been disrespecting Blue Jays fans. Do you know the context of what I'm talking about? Because I've defended you, and I'm like, he played there, and I think he really liked it. So I was like, I think he was probably kidding. But there's a few fans that wrote on comments, I'm out. I'm not watching this show now because Kratz said that Canadians don't know baseball or something. And I'm like trying to figure out exactly what they're talking about. It was from a certain interview they said.
You're talking
but
to
I'm like,
Davis Schneider.
yes,
You're talking to Davis Schneider.
clear this up.
And I said I'm probably going to get a hard time for this. I should have explained it more. I came back from Africa and I saw what was happening on Twitter, and by that time it was too late. Basically, when you're in Toronto, you will get like let's say eight reporters that are in there every single day, maybe 5, somewhere in there. But you will always get the random reporters that come in and they're like, that was a neat game. Did you guys always score this many runs? It wasn't a shot at the fans. It was a shot at random reporters from just like the Toronto Sunflower, like that come in and they're like, they don't know anything about what's going on, but they get a pass to come into the stadium, and they stand in the scrum with the regular people, and even the regular reporters will sit there and they'll be like, oh, great. This person's in here writing I don't even know what the language is for reporters, but it's like, and then you won't ever see that person again. and then someone else randomly will come in the next day. So you get these. That was my context of the Davis Schneider question, because he was like, I know he was going through the same thing. They have awesome reporters up there. They have great fans, but I think a lot of fans took it that I was busting on the fans. And you know what? If you're not watching the show because of me, you're missing out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I'm glad you clarified that, because I needed help. I was confused, and that actually makes total sense. So really, you're just calling out a few reporters that are in there sometimes that don't know what they're talking about, which, guess what, was the story of my life every October, where I'd be there for MLB, and you're in a scrum, and you're interviewing, and there's a few local people sometimes from the local news, a lot of times not even a sports person, and they'll come in there, and they'll ask a question right after like an 8-7 loss, and there was a blown save, and they'll ask something where you're like, now we're all fucked. This guy's not going to answer anything else cool for us, because they just asked the most random, weird question at the worst time. And also, those same people, I can say it because usually they're not even in sports. It's just a few people that ruin it for everyone else. They have one go-to question, and they ask it every single day. Like, we're at Cubs. Chris, how much pressure do you feel right now? And they go up, and then we're in the next scrum. Anthony, how much pressure do you feel right now? That's literally all they ask. And I'm just like, have you watched one pitch ever in baseball? So, okay, good. I'm glad you clarified that. We got to go to our guest.
And you got some role play. And you got some role playing.
Well, no, that's just real life. I'm just reenacting a real life story. It's not even fake. And it would.
But I found out I got roasted. I found out that Twitter was just
welcome to the Twitter world, kid.
Yeah,
it was amazing, and it was like, man, I guess I should have cleared this up 2 weeks ago, but I didn't.
Kratz,
sorry,
when you get on
sorry,
South
you're
Park,
all Blue Jay fans.
South Park, where they're like, we hate Canada. What was it, South Park, where they went to war with
Kratz
Canada?
loved Toronto. That's why I was like, what are these people talking about? All right, let's get to our guest.
Canada.
Yeah.
Pitching Ninja Rob Friedman joining us right now. Rob, great to see you. And obviously, you're on the other end of the spectrum. You know more than just about anyone when you're asking questions to pitchers, because you're actually sometimes giving advice to pitchers and helping them improve their game. So how has your offseason been?
It's been great. Not much of an off season. I mean, I still do stuff every day, but yeah, honestly, it's been pretty good.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. So let's start with one of the reasons that, I thought of you and was like, we haven't had Rob on in a minute. We got to get him back on. So you dominated one of our conversations the other day with the Yamamoto javelin conversation. So I wanted to get your insight on when you posted that, what the feedback was like, and what your personal opinion is on if javelins will take over the baseball world.
That is a great question. So I did post it, and I thought, like, everybody was like, first, what is this? And then how can I get one? Because it's cool. Like, they just want to throw javelins. Who doesn't want to throw javelins, right? Like, it's fun. What can go wrong? But I think it's a neat way to train. I've tried to throw it. I have one sitting right here if you want to see it. Look at that.
Yes.
This is
it definitely has dirt on it too.
It does. I was throwing it, and I suck at it. I can't throw that thing worth a darn.
Is it heavy?
It's my guess. It's about 10 ounces, maybe a little less. It's not that big. But all right, so you look at it, like, even back in the day, Tom House had Nolan Ryan throwing footballs, right? So it's just another way to throw, another way to have a different throwing mechanic to maybe make you feel like you're using your body a different way. I know Yamamoto loves it because he said that it reduces strain on his elbow and has taught him to throw a little bit less with his elbow and more with the rest of his body. But, it's one of those things. We always tell kids to play multiple sports to be athletic, and it's another way to be athletic.
Is there any medical research? Obviously, it's just popped on the scene. No medical research. And to say that, it's just what he feels like, because there's going to be people that are going to watch him in LA and they're going to be like, I'm getting a javelin. And then they're going to go out and they're going to throw it. And this thing is going to be leading here with their throwing, and same Tommy John injuries that we have across the board. I did it with the javelin. Yamamoto does it.
Yeah, and it's not like any throwing is all that safe. Like, anytime you throw anything, absolutely, you have to be careful. It is it's a different throwing methodology. Maybe it puts strain a little differently on other aspects of your body, a little bit less on your arm. There has been studies by, like, Driveline. They've done some stuff with javelin and javelin throwers, looking at how they use their lower half. There is a like a subcategory of pitchers that do throw javelins. They just aren't out there everywhere. I know a lot of his teammates were throwing them. Felipe Alou back in the day was a javelin thrower. So it's not like there isn't a history of baseball and javelins, but it's kind of new. It's fun.
Hold on, before you go, hold on. Are you getting a cut if we start selling these things or what? Because you were the first guy that said, hey, we didn't need to sell these things. So does Pitching Ninja get a cut of? Because if so, I want a cut because everyone's going to buy one of these if he comes out and deals. So I want in.
This is one of those things. So I was sitting there minding my own business, just pointing out how he throws a javelin. It was unique. And then the company that actually makes these things and distributes them in Japan said, hey, Pitching Ninja, would you be interested in this? So I'm exploring it because I do think there's an opportunity, but I also, I don't want to say that anything is a cure-all for, it's just not. But is it interesting? Yeah, it's definitely interesting. And if you want to cut, let's all do it. Why not?
I'm in. Yeah.
You're in. No, I didn't say anything about anyone except
I'm head
for
of
me.
sales.
Just
You need
AJ and the Ninja.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm a ninja.
Yeah, you can have different colors for different teams, just like batting gloves. It's real simple, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
Hey, I want to talk a little bit about the splitter. I brought this up a while ago. Why don't we have pitchers throwing it a lot here in Japan? They're unbelievable at it. I played over there in the Olympics, played against Japanese guys all throughout my career, with Team USA, and it's a nasty pitch. I know it could put strain on the elbow. I understand that. It depends on what kind of grip you have. But there's been a couple guys, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, to name two, that have added it. Do you see this coming as a rise in America now?
I definitely do. And I think it had a bad name for a while in America. We kind of stopped teaching it because a lot of the early split-fingered fastball guys got injured. And like anything, we didn't have real studies on it, just like we were talking about the javelin. So people just anecdotally said, oh, the splitter's dangerous for your elbow. Well, now that we've done some studies on it, it shows that it's not really that. It's not more dangerous than a fastball. A fastball pretty much is the most dangerous pitch for your elbow because you're using, it puts the most force on it. Japan, it's basically the national pitch of Japan. There are multiple versions of splitters. It's not just like, hey, here's my splitter. It's some throw a gyro splitter, throw a straight splitter, there's a whole bunch of different grips. They've experimented for all these years. We didn't. And now it's coming back in vogue because you're right. It's really tough to pick up. You have Bryce Miller is adding a splitter this year. George Kirby got his splitter from watching my interview with Kevin Gosman, which was pretty cool. And you're going to see a lot of guys, I think, pop on it for exactly the same reason you just said. It's tough to hit.
It's impossible to hit a good one.
You guys have faced it, but not a lot. You didn't see enough of them.
I got more though at the beginning of my career than the end.
Because there were more.
They were more in
throwing
vogue.
them.
Yeah, by far. I mean, even like Mulder threw one, and he was lefty. That was something you never saw. Tim Hudson, Clemens.
They learned to pitch. They learned to pitch. Now guys just throw.
Yeah, no, I mean there was more. There was more at the beginning of my career than there was at the end, for sure. Gosman was like the only guy there at the end of my career. I was like, oh, he's got this splitter thing. What do we do? And I'm like, well, just don't swing at the low one.
Masa here.
Masa. Yeah, true. He was another one. He threw more sliders to me, so I didn't really count his split.
Hey, okay, Rob.
I was going to say, it is funny because Senga made that adjustment. Everybody's saying, if you see it low, let it go. And then he started throwing fastballs in that same tunnel and people are getting, punched out on fastballs at the knees. So they can make those adjustments on it. And now that everybody's seeing it, look what Senga did last year with his Ghost Fork. It's like a 60% whiff rate.
Yeah, Senga was awesome last year.
Dude, I'm telling you, split is nasty, man. If you can throw a good one, it is the best pitch you can throw. Todd's talked about it. Kratz has talked about it. If you can make it work, Jose Contreras used to throw. I mean, he'd drop down and throw one. That was
forkball.
Nasty.
Full forkball.
Rob, we're being flooded with questions from people wanting to know who your sleepers are, breakouts. I actually added this when we were chatting before the show started, bounce backs. So I don't know if there's certain pitchers you have targeted this year that you like, that you've gotten to watch this offseason while many free agents haven't signed.
Yeah, I mean, I love Tarek Skubal. I think he's fantastic. I don't know if you consider him a sleeper because he's not a sleeper to me. I featured him a ton. Cole Reagans is another guy who just like, everybody's watching. They made a trade for Chapman, and all of a sudden this guy became like the best pitcher in the whole league overnight, throwing flames. He's another one. I'd love to see Hunter Green. Speaking of splitters, he's a guy I would love to see add a splitter. I know he throws a change, but him adding a splitter with that aggressiveness, I think could take him to another level as well.
I don't think he has enough. I don't think he has enough downhill plane. I feel like guys that have down angle, the splitter really works well. But I don't hate it. I want to go. You mentioned a couple really good lefties. At the end of this season, 2024, of these three guys, who is going to have the best season? Blake Snell, Jordan Montgomery, Carlos Rodon.
Ooh, that's tough. I love Rodon as a bounce back. I think that nobody saw the best Rodon last year, obviously, and he is a freaking stud. And I love him in New York with the fans behind him. He is that guy. So, I mean, I'm never going to pick against Rodon, and maybe I shouldn't here. I'm going to say Rodon. I love Snell too. Like, obviously, whiff rate out the wazoo. I'd love to see where he ends up.
Can he duplicate it? Can Blake Snell duplicate it? Because we always play the whole 2 Cy Youngs and everything. Can he duplicate his whiff rate? Because his last 20 starts were unbelievable. And was there something that you saw in those last 20 that, okay, he's just going to continue that on this year and have another 1.2 ERA?
Yeah, it was really I don't give a crap if I walk anybody. I'm going to outstuff people, and I'm going to take it. I'm not going to give in to hitters. I'm going to continue to hit 3 pitches with over like a 45% whiff rate, 2 over 50%. And he knew he can get out of any situation by striking people out if he had to. Is that hard? It's hard to thread the needle, obviously. You walk a bunch of people, you're putting people on base. They're bound to score sometime, but his strategy kind of makes sense, and it's a unique approach. Like, there may be other pitchers that take that. Not that there's a lot of pitchers that have ridiculously high whiff rates like he does. He's almost one of a kind. But it is a good strategy for a guy like him because walks, everybody has been told that walks are terrible, blah, blah. Walks are terrible when they score. They also run up pitch count, so you wouldn't look at them to go deep in a game. But with that stuff, you can get out of it. So, yeah, I mean, can he duplicate that? That's really tough because it was threading the needle. But is he an elite pitcher? He's got 2 Cy Youngs. Not many guys get that.
No, not many at all. Talking about pitchers, Corbin Burns, bye-bye to Milwaukee. He's going to Baltimore. Are they going to be top dogs for a while now, you think, with this pickup and with this young core coming up too as well? I mean, they have a solid foundation. AL East is going to be a battle as we know it, but Baltimore looks like the team to beat in that division.
You nailed it. I mean, I love the Baltimore pitching staff. You add Burns, who knows a crap ton about pitching, and I mean, another guy who can win a Cy Young any year. And then you have Kyle Bradish, who has amazing stuff and doesn't get talked about enough, as well as Grayson Rodriguez, who, has some of the best stuff in baseball. He's another guy that, do you consider him a sleeper, a breakout, whatever, maybe a breakout candidate, but he's broken out according to me because I feature him a ton. He's got fantastic stuff. So you're right. The Orioles are going to be dangerous.
Hey, Rob, I've got a fan question for you. Many coming through here. Susie from Bourbon and Baseball actually was just on their show. They were great, asking an Astros related question. Was it just mechanics that contributed to Christian Javier's downfall last season? Tired for more innings, adding more usage of curve change. I know you've talked about him in the past, and I think he lost some ride on his fastball, but he's always just been a curious guy to follow. He's basically just a 2-pitch guy, and I really have liked following him. But yeah, he was not as effective last year, and it's not like he's old. I don't even think his velo was down that much. Maybe a tick.
Yeah, it's just little things like that. I mean, ride is so dependent on how you release the ball, and he just may have made a tiny adjustment and not gotten back to where where his ball was riding through the zone. It's hard to say. Like, those guys that throw invisiballs, sometimes they get seen all of a sudden and people can hit them. So I'm curious to see. I haven't figured out why that was, but it definitely, he definitely got hit harder. And I think he's a 50-50 shot. Like, I don't know. I have no idea if he's going to solve that or not, but I know he's got some of the best guys on it, and somebody's going to be able to compare him what he was doing before and run that down.
You've talked to some of the most elite pitchers from past and current pitchers. Who are you most fascinated with or learned the most from that you were like, wow, I had no idea that was what was just going to happen in this next 30 minutes?
Well, first, for me, interviewing Greg Maddux was freaking sick. Like, he's a guy that I watched his career. Great dude, answered all my questions. And I, as a fan of Greg Maddux, and since I followed him, was able to ask him a ton of stuff. He had a really interesting answer. Well, two. One is he threw this ridiculous two-seamer. And he said, number one, he remembered what I was talking about, and he's thrown how many pitches in his career. He's like, oh yeah, that one was absolutely nasty. And he remembered the ball had a scuff on it when he threw it, which is why it broke so much. So that kind of almost broke the internet this offseason when I posted that stuff. And then his cutter release was unique. I thought Yu Darvish was amazing. Like Yu Darvish's ability to break down pitching and talk about things. And we go back to the javelin conversation about pitchers get into it. They repeat their delivery so much that sometimes it's actually detrimental to them, and they have to throw it multiple deliveries to jump up a tier in the way they throw. So Yu Darvish was talking about throwing out of multiple deliveries and changing his stuff in bullpens just to break out of the monotony of a routine and his pitching mechanics. That's another place the javelin can help. But also, we were sitting on screen and he taught me how to throw a cutter in a way that I've never heard anybody talk about it, which is, you just push your two fingers down here like this, your pinky and your ring finger down, and your fingers automatically make a cutting motion. It's like, if you just think about that, your ball, that's basically a simple cutter. So the way he thinks about pitching, and the fact that he said when he's retired, he doesn't want to be a pitching coach. He wants to be a pitching grip coach, because he's thought it all through with his however many pitches. He throws like 13, and you can make it even more because he's got a slow curve, fast curve, all this stuff. So brilliant dude.
He's a freak. He would be able to. He can pitch left-handed just as well as he can pitch right-handed. I didn't see the entire Maddux interview, but I saw some of the highlights. Did you ever hit on? Does he think, or do you think he would even be a number 2 or 3 in the big leagues right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. He did say when he came up, he said he topped out 93, 94 and was a hard thrower. It wasn't like he was, towards the end of his career where he wasn't throwing all that hard. It's like, I threw kind of hard, especially on a slower gun back in the day. So it wasn't, he could have been developed into a hard thrower. He still believes in his mentality of, velocity is like the last important thing. It's movement, mostly location that gets folks out. We didn't touch specifically on that question, but I mean, he is in awe of the pitchers today that we did touch on. He thought like Jacob deGrom was, because he worked with him at Texas. He said, the guy's a freak. He puts the ball exactly where he wants to. The movement is great. He knows exactly how to pitch. And he was just blown away by how good Jacob deGrom was. So he does not consider himself a better guy than Jacob deGrom, which I thought was interesting.
Rob, you mentioned two things. One, did Greg Maddux offer to pee on your leg in the shower because he's famous for that? Or did you ask him if he could?
I thought that might be a little awkward in our first interview. Maybe a follow-up. I might do that.
Good feel.
You didn't have anyone to distract you. What was it? Smoltz said he was the distractor, so Greg could get the guy, so you didn't have anyone to distract you, so you knew it was coming. Okay, that's fair.
So I did ask him about that, and he said all of that stuff was made up. He doesn't know where any of that came from.
Sure. Every player that ever played with him made it all up. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now you mentioned Yu Darvish. I played with Yu Darvish when he first came over, 2013 with the Rangers. And people ask you, one of the questions as a catcher you always get is who's the best pitcher you ever caught, or who's the best? And I always say, well, you got to quantify this, because is it the best stuff I've ever seen, or is it the best actual pitcher I've ever caught? Because they're completely different things, right? So, and I tell people the best stuff I've ever seen was Yu Darvish, right? And the thing you mentioned, him having 13 different pitches and this and that. Could you just get him to throw more fastballs so we can go more than 5 innings and not try to strike everybody out? Because for 10 plus years now, if he could just figure out how to get some quick outs instead of slider, cutter, curveball, I mean, this guy could be one of the best pitchers in the game still.
Do you remember when he'd always face the opposing pitcher back when pitchers would hit and never throw them a fastball? I know in his head. Yeah.
He wouldn't throw anybody a fastball if he didn't have to. He would literally, before the game, be like, okay, let's try to throw fastballs this game. Okay. He'd throw one first pitch, it would spike in the dirt, and they'd be like, oh, no more. Right to the cutter, right to the slider, right to the curveball. And you're just like, dude, do you know you throw 97 and the ball goes, whew!
It's amazing. And he's got this, his two-seamer has a ton of run on it, which he likes. Like I see him front hip guys sometimes, and I think he likes that pitch. But oh my God, I'd scream at my screen sometimes watching him again, throwing to a pitcher who can't hit. And he's throwing them splitters and curveballs and everything. I'm like, fastball, this guy's not going to hit that either. I mean, just throw it right down the middle. He's going to get it. But I don't like, you is a brilliant, he's like a scientist out there. I love watching him throw. I love his insight on the game. And fantastic guy. And also funny as crap. Do you have any good Yu Darvish stories? Like, he's a funny dude.
I mean, I got lots of Yu Darvish stories. None of them I can really tell right now.
Really?
I played with him for a full.
They're rated R.
We had some serious.
You guys did?
Oh yeah, because of what we just talked about.
I like that.
We had a couple where it was like we went at it.
Wow.
On the mound in Oakland one time on the mound we went at it.
Okay, can we find that video?
I'm gonna go find that.
Yeah, it was true. That was when Oakland was good. That was when they had Donaldson.
MLB might have dubbed it out.
No, they were. That was when Oakland was good.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but listen, you knew pitching. He knew how to pitch. He knew what he was doing. He just wanted to strike everybody out. He didn't care. 3-2, he's like, I want to strike. He would go 0-2 and go boom, boom. You're like, okay, if we just throw another fastball, this guy's done. He's like, slider, curveball.
He was ahead of his time. That's what everyone wants to do now.
Yeah, exactly. He was. You're right. And his stuff is literally the best stuff I've ever seen.
Really?
Seriously. Catching what? I mean, and when he wanted to, he could go boom, boom. Like Maddox could hit anything. Yu Darvish was that. I mean, I'm telling you, Yu Darvish was unbelievable.
I got to talk to him about that. We'll give him that compliment first. Like I think he'll dig that. Maddox is exactly the opposite, right? Maddox is like, if I can get you out on one pitch, that is fantastic. And old school doesn't show you anything the first time through, then it unveils different pitches. He thought of the game at a totally different level, which was just being as efficient as possible. He doesn't care how you get it out.
So Rob, let's finish with this. I think that the last time I had you on was the first time, which was soon after the Scherzer sticky stuff situation, which we covered at length. And we had Scherzer on a couple days before all of that happened. My question is just about the baseball. I know it's going to come up in spring training. We still don't have that, tacky baseball that people talk about, but it's there overseas. So just wondering if you've heard anything about it and if you're mentally preparing for the complaints and the articles to come about in the next month over the fact that we still don't have a solution for the grip that some people are looking for.
Yeah, they tried to do it. They've experimented with a bunch of different things, and the metrics on pitches just took off. Like, people aren't going to be able to hit it if it's too sticky. So I think that's what they're trying to play with. I don't think they have it down yet. I would love to see it. I mean, obviously, and they've solved it in Japan and other countries. There's no reason why we can't do it, except it may make pitchers nastier, which I'm all for. Like, let's make pitchers, if there's no hits and everybody strikes out, just think of the content I get. That's all I care.
There'd be so many swords.
Screw those darn hitters.
So many swords.
Okay, yeah, I got to ask that. Can you explain, because you came up with the sword. Can you explain it? Because my kid yells sword, and the guy just swings and misses at like a regular. I'm like, wait, I thought it had to be like a funny swing.
It's a stat now too, right?
It is a stat. I love that. Like I had to sit down with a spreadsheet of pitches. And it's basically the idea of a sword is it is a funny swing. It's a check swing where the hitter doesn't know, makes up his mind late or tries to stop too late. So it is not a full swing. And I know some folks get that wrong. But I had to sit down with a spreadsheet and go sword, not a sword, 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 not a sword, to help train the analytics that MLB has to create this statistic, which is, it's tough being a pitching ninja, right? Like, I get to watch baseball all day and help MLB by looking through a spreadsheet of stuff. Now, it isn't quite the Todd Frazier no hands home run type thing, which I don't know how he did to this day. Is that a sword?
What would you call that? What would you call that?
Magic? How did you do that? Like that? I don't understand it.
Clue. My old high school coach said, throw the hands to the ball. And I literally just threw my hands to the ball. So Ken Frank, appreciate it.
I'm going to put that up. I'll put that out maybe tomorrow for folks to see.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's that simple, right? Throw your hands at the ball, and every once in a while,
totally that simple.
You don't even need your hands.
Totally that simple. Yep. That's all there is. Just throw your hands at the ball, guys. Who cares? Thanks, Todd. Thanks for ruining it for everybody.
Yeah, right. Now
There'd be
everybody's
so
gonna-
many kids like,
Yeah.
I threw my bat,
I threw
but
my hands at the ball.
I hit the ump in the
True.
face.
Maybe I should show that swing against Verlander then to follow it up.
Oh no, we don't want that one.
Mm.
We don't. We
We've
don't
all
want
been there.
that. Would be
We've
a
all
sword.
done that,
Would
Rob,
that be a
trust me.
sword or what?
If you ain't done it, you ain't done it.
Is that a
Yeah.
sword?
Call that one.
That was a sword. Without a
Alright.
doubt, that would be considered a sword.
I-
Absolutely.
I-
I
Thank you
still
for
get hit up on
clarifying
that
this
one.
because
Yeah.
it irritates me when there's like a swing and miss and they're like, sword. It's not a sword. That's not a sword.
I agree
Thank
with
you. You were the
100%.
originator of it. It was first clarified here.
Totally agree with you.
Good. High schoolers now know. Well, Rob, awesome catching up with you. Appreciate it. Obviously, check out Pitching Ninja on everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, the YouTube channel, the whole deal. We'll post all of this. But good to catch up with you and happy almost spring training.
Awesome. Thanks. Great.
Wait,
having
Rob.
you.
Wait, before you go, what kind of chair do you have? Because that one looks comfortable.
Ooh, that's a gamer
It
chair.
is. It's like a. I got this for free too. That was sick. Yeah.
That's
Does it have
AJ
good back
Price.
support? Does it
How
have
does it-
good back support?
How does it feel?
Yeah,
Go
it's
ahead.
great.
How does it feel
It's
on
an
the
E-win.
tush? How does it feel on the
Everything
bottom
like
there?
you know how much I sit in a chair all day, so I have
That's
to
why I
have a
asked.
good chair. It's great. It's an E-win gaming chair.
Ah,
Okay. I might
Does
reach
it
out.
does it have like a rumble pack and everything in it? When you,
You
you
move.
die, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
the chair shakes.
It should. That'd be sick.
We're gonna look into it for AJ. There's been a big chair debate today for poor AJ's back.
Maybe I can get one for AJ. I'll contact
That
them
would
and see
be
if they could throw
amazing.
you.
I'll send you
He
a.
just bought one. He doesn't need a new one. You
We
need
can
to
No,
get
return
a
I need a
shot.
cooler looking
We
one.
can
though.
return it.
Yeah,
That-
well, no, you're gonna have
Rob's
to take
chair
it.
is
You're gonna have to
cooler.
untake it. You're gonna have to whatever.
I can take it in. I know how to return things.
Okay.
Rob, thank you. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Take care, guys.
Cheers. Appreciate you. Rob
Cheers.
Friedman with us. Check out Pitching Ninja. Obviously, many of you in the chat already know all about Rob and what he's doing. And yeah, the new sword stat, which also will help to clarify some things for people who yell sword at every swing and miss.
I had
It's a
no
special
clue
swing
about
and miss.
no clue about that.
Really?
That it was a stat now. Like
Well, that's new. That's
just
new.
Like
Oh, the sword?
Yeah.
recently, like
was
2024,
announced.
they just said they were going to do that.
Weeks ago.
what does that even
Um,
help with? Does it show you how you make a batter look silly? Like I don't
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
There's a
Pretty
stat.
much.
There's a
It's
stat.
like
for
it's like
everything.
posterizing, dunking on someone,
Yep.
Isn't that MLB's version of like
Mm-hmm.
putting someone on a poster?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They should do the Chi Rodriguez then when he makes a putt. That kind of sword. I like that one better.
What was that?
Chichi
You remember-
Rodriguez, when he would make his
Then you
putts,
make it, you go,
Oh, he would
Was-
do
then
the
you put the sword away.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that one better.
I forgot about it. Hey, we're gonna talk to Josh Hader coming up in just a sec. So I don't think I have time to get into the Olympic stuff, but we can ask Josh about it at some point. I mean, I know most players are into it, but we'll get to it in a sec because I don't want to keep him waiting and start getting into a tangent and get in trouble.
You do what you want.
I do.
I have to
but-
leave early, so
Oh, right. You're bouncing at some point.
I have to
leave early. It's good to see you. We'll say your byes now.
I actually can't say the same.
Thank you.
I just want to say before we get to Hater, I'm all for the Olympics and the MLB trying to make it happen. Now we can get to Hater,
Okay, perfect.
MLB
Let's do
just
it.
get-
gets money from it.
but I'm fine with it. I'm here for
Give
it.
them their money and then let
Give 'em
players
some-
play.
I'm here for it, dude. I want Japan. I want WBC on freaking steroids, dude.
Yeah.
Because this would be for you get Japan, you get Dominican,
I'm standing up for
Cuba,
the minor leaguers.
USA. I mean, whoever else, whatever the other teams. I'm here for this.
Kratzy, I didn't even think about that, man.
I'm standing
that-
up for the minor leaguers. Mm-mm.
I get it, but you do want to see if the best could get out there. I mean, I'm like
in mid-season form.
I'm half and half on it, Kratzy, but I
No,
do.
I want the best in mid-season form, Todd.
I agree. They've been playing. That makes a
Mhm.
whole different story now. The boys are ready to go, so all they got to do is just get there wherever it is. I think.
LA.
That's
Yeah.
in LA.
And then it's in LA too. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hop, skip, and a jump. Get the cavalry ready. Let's go. Bring them.
Well, let's ask.
I mean,
let's ask
would
our guest.
Hater do it?
Bring them on. Let's bring in
Josh on here.
Let's
Skip
bring
the
in
All-Star game?
Look at
that smile.
Close out the gold medal game for USA. Let's go.
Hey, what up, fellas?
What's up? You gonna close out the Olympic gold game for Team USA and get them back on track after the WBC loss?
I'm all in. I'm
Yeah,
all in.
baby.
Sign me up. I like how it's in the middle of the year, not like spring training. Like that WBC is kind of sketchy. You're going like 110% right off the rip. It's kind of sketchy for me, but
That's true.
WBC. I mean, the Olympics sounds pretty legit.
Remember Scherzer was on and said the same thing, because you remember this past WBC, and people are starting to complain, oh, we're not getting all the pitchers that we want, especially for Team USA. And Scherzer came on, he's like, yo, I'll pitch, and some other guys would pitch that are some of those big names that you're looking for. He's like, but I'm not doing this in March. He's like, I'll do it in June, July, August. He's like, I'm not gonna get hurt because of it. You agree?
I'm with it. Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
All right, let's get to biz. So,
But hold on, what kind of chair before I gotta go? What kind of chair?
Oh my gosh.
oh my gosh, it's
a gamer chair,
It's a
dude. The
gamer
gamer
chair.
chair is where it's at.
It's a gaming chair. It's called Op Seat.
Ah, okay. Does that have good back support?
Yeah, it's got like this like little knob thing. I don't know if you can see it, but just throw that thing at the bottom
Ooh.
and you're chilling.
I love it.
I like it.
I love it.
Kratz, you do the honors. Take us to Houston.
Yeah, Kratz.
I mean, the Houston Astros have selected for $1 million Josh Hader. What was it like? I mean, it's not like people think, okay, wow, I just got a $100 million contract. Like, that's unbelievable. Like, you were building up to this. But what was that call like when you were like, hey, we want this, we want that? How did the Astros convince you to come down there? Because kind of, on the outside, it kind of looks like they're aging a little bit. Maybe they're not quite as good. And then they go out and get the best reliever in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it happened quick. We had conversations early, like kind of like they were interested, but pretty much through the holidays, it was pretty quiet. And then, they called me up and, we had long talks and pretty much gave me the rundown on what their long-term looks like. Because obviously that was something that we were really trying to do, is be in a place where we could stay there for, 4+ years and, really be able to build that relationship with the community, with the team and the ownership. And, that's something that they looked for us. And I think it was just giving us the straightforward answer, not beating around the bush and telling us their plan. I think that was ultimately where we were like, this is the place we want to be, because they were just so upfront and, just so direct.
What was the plan? What were some of the things? Obviously, I know you can't give us everything, but like, what were some of the things that like made you two say, okay, yeah, I like that?
I'd say the biggest one was this Altuve signing.
They told you that was going to happen.
They hinted to it. I mean, they were basically saying like, we're going to try and make this guy an Astro for life. And, obviously what Altuve's done for this organization and for the community, he's a big part of everything Houston Astros. So that's somebody you want to be able to ride out your career with. And, just for how he plays the game, the way he handles himself, how humble he is. I've been able to meet him. I was in the minor leagues when I got called up to spring training, but I had an interaction with him, and, top-notch dude. And, as a teammate, I've heard nothing but great things about him.
Okay, Hader, we have to whisper, okay? I just want to know who the other teams were that you were talking to. Everybody never talks about it, but you and I can talk about it, okay?
Yeah, it was like a lot of like good teams that were really competitive.
Okay, now I need names.
You're already signed. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a few good teams. I think there was a lot of teams that were competitive, and I think ultimately we were looking for teams that were very competitive, and we wanted to go win a World Series. And I'll give you a few. I'd say the Dodgers were one of them. They were in the room, but never fully stepped in. And I'd say the Yankees were talking, it just never came through. And
Nah.
I think a lot of teams, they were interested, but nothing really came from it. So I think that was the biggest thing. So Houston, they were straight up. They were like, "Hey, you're the guy we want. All right, this is what we're going to give you. This is our plan," and they made it happen.
It's awesome.
Good for you. All right, so you're the closer. They said you are the closer. Or
We'll see what
did they?
happens, man.
Well, no, because they have a pretty decent guy down there that has done okay.
Yeah, but he already
Yeah.
said, "Let's go."
I know, I
Let's go.
understand, but
We're winning a World Series. That's the end goal for all of us in that pen is to
Facts.
show up
true.
and pitch and win. Whatever we have to do that, that's what we're gonna do.
Okay, because Craig Kimbrell did that once. He got traded one time to the White Sox. Said, "I'm fine pitching the eighth," and couldn't get anybody out. So I just want to know. I mean, if
Josh has done that though.
I know, I understand that. I'm just saying, if old Espada comes to you one day and says, "Hey, man, we need you to go the eighth," they got, we're facing the Yankees and they got Rizzo, Judge, and Soto coming up. We need you to go 1, 2, 3 in the eighth so we can have Presley for the ninth. I mean, I just want to make sure old Hader's okay with that.
I think we'll find out once the season starts on what the deal is. But I can give you this information that whatever we need to do to win, I'm all in.
Okay, I love it. I
Facts.
love that answer. That's a great answer.
That is a great answer. Josh, I want to talk to you about your fastball, dude. I remember facing you a couple years back or whatever it was. I thought I was on it every time, and there's no chance in hell I was on it. I look back on film. I couldn't tell if I was underneath, late. Can you explain to me, is it deception? Is it rise? Is there something that do you hold it a different way? What makes your fastball so effective?
So I mean, obviously, I'm not a hitter, but from what I've been told is the angle that my arm is. So it's like a 5'6" height, and I throw a two-seamer, like kind of. I don't have a baseball on me, but I throw a two-seamer that's kind of like shifted a little bit off the seam. So like, I guess the angle and how my hand stays behind the ball, I guess, gives that natural like four-seam ride. But from the hitters, I guess it looks like it's maybe a two-seamer, so they anticipate like a tailing or a sink type action. But I guess just the way my hand comes through and pronates through that seam, it allows it to kind of go up.
Absolutely filthy. I just one of those at bats where you go back to the dugout like, dude, I know a fastball's coming, and I still can't hit it, and that's the most frustrating part about baseball. I mean, Kratzy, AJ, I think you'd agree with me. It's one of those, can't even call it invisible because it's 95 plus. So that's all I got on that. I was just curious what, if there was something different that you did, but now understanding, I wish you would have told me that about 7 years ago. Appreciate it.
Well, would it have helped?
We can run it back
No.
if you want, Frazier.
We can run it back.
No. I'm good.
Hey, Josh, one more on the teams. So a lot of people thought that the Rangers might be interested. Were you surprised that they weren't more aggressive about it? I know, the excuse du jour of the offseason was, we're waiting on the TV money, but they won a World Series, and obviously now they're your rivals, so you're going to want to stomp on them. But a lot of people were like, that's what they're missing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the biggest thing for them was the TV deal. I think, obviously, I'm not behind their finances or anything like that, but that's what was stopping them from making moves, I guess. And like I said, we're just here to win a World Series, and Houston was the team that showed us that they're all in for that opportunity, and they've done it too. So, full go Houston Astros.
Yeah, facts. You don't care about the Rangers. You're in the real city of Texas and
Texas,
Houston.
baby. Yep.
Have you guys take us through kind of, what the process is for you? Have you gone down to Houston and gone to look for a house? Are you looking up, what's that place where like north of there, like Boot Ranch or something where people live? Do you know where you're going to be living, or are you still trying to figure that out before spring training starts?
Yeah, so we actually stayed there a little bit longer when we did the press conference. So we went out there, I want to say it was Saturday, maybe, I don't know, my days were all mixed up, but we went out there, we stayed a few extra days, when looked at some houses, and it was a lot of fun. We got to see different neighborhoods and see what we really liked, and we actually found a house that we liked. So possibly in the process of getting that and being able to settle down and, be able to raise our family in Houston.
Let me talk about Corbin Burns a little bit. Just got traded to the Baltimore Orioles. I want to know, we talked about him, how he kind of surprised about the trade. How do you think he's feeling right now, and what do you think he's going through? I know we had him on the other day, but that's one of your guys right there. So talk about him a little bit and how he'll do with Baltimore, but ultimately how he's feeling over that trade situation first time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty overwhelming at the time. I mean, obviously, like no one knows when they're going to be traded, right? I think it's unexpected, but Milwaukee is known to either sign guys at an earlier time in their career, or they ride them as much as they could until they can get the best value and then kind of dump them out. So for him to go to Beatmore, and that's my hometown, so I was always a fan of watching Baltimore players and stuff like that. But for him to go to a team that's young, obviously what they did last year, and to add a guy like that into their starting rotation, I mean, come on now. I mean, that just adds a lot of fuel to that fire over there for that team, and obviously with the new ownership too. I mean, a lot to look forward to in Baltimore, and also we get to see him twice. So hopefully, I get the chance to see him start a few times. So obviously, not going to be cheering for the Orioles at all, but always cheering for my boy to do well.
I mean, you sound kind of like an Orioles fan. We just got to make sure we check those numbers when you come in at Camden Yards to save a game. But I got a little piece of advice for you here. Make sure when you guys hang out, because I know you and Burns, you're going to hang out, maybe get out on the lake a little bit. Make sure you pay for dinner this year, because next year and for life, he's paying for dinner, okay? What kind of advice do you got for him for free agency?
Honestly, just don't stress about it. I think it's all different. Obviously, the market and free agency is always different each year. Just enjoy it. Don't really dig too deep into I need to sign early, because I think he has that mindset where he's not expecting to sign right off the rip at November 1st, right? Or right after the season. So just go with the flow, hear what you got. And I mean, he's the best pitcher out there, right? So he's going to get his market value, and he's going to get everything that he needs to take care of his family.
Oh, hold on one sec. I was muted. Sorry, Josh. AJ disappeared. Question for you. So some fans, in my mind, troll a little bit about innings. And like last year, oh, we didn't get Josh in a meaningless game in the 8th inning last year. What's your response, especially now, like signing with a team, to some fans that keep saying, well, we want Josh to pitch, 2 or 3 innings like the old hater? Do you feel like there's like some unfair criticism at times about it? And also, I mean, I wanted to get into the arbitration system and how maybe there's a better way for relievers to be rewarded, because there's even teams that won't pitch young guys because they don't want them to rack up saves because it'll cost them more.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that the business had to come in that way. Because it is, at the end of the day, I love playing this game. I'm going to do anything I can to win. But also, you got to think about the health of yourself and being able to provide for your family. Now, I was, like you said, I was going through the arbitration system, and I was with the Brewers. It's not like the Padres put me through that process, but the system told me that the way that any reliever, not even just myself, but any reliever is valued based off saves. And for me at the time, I was going multiple innings, going from the 4th inning maybe to the 7th, also doing 2 2/3 save outings, and just different things like that, which I was fine with. But when I was told to my face that that's not worth anything, like you got to get saves, that's where I was like, well, I'm not going to blow my arm out if you're not going to invest in me. So my investment back was, I'll get you the inning, I'll get you the saves, and we'll do everything. But you got to put a team and a bullpen around to do that, right? And obviously, the team that we had going into that year, we had a back end bullpen that was unbelievable. So, I think that's where things sometimes show a little bit more of the business when, things kind of fall out of place where, maybe we get into a jam and we need some help and everybody's expecting that to be me. So, yeah, I mean, it hurts obviously for the fan base, and it's not something that I wanted to do to them. But at the same time, I have to take care of myself and make sure that I make it healthy out of that year. But like I said before, I think the biggest thing a lot of people don't realize is like once you get to playoffs, for me, it was like full game. Like I was willing to do whatever we needed to do to win. Because I think, and obviously you guys play this game, is like it takes a complete army to make it through a whole entire season. And it's going to take guys from the minor leagues. It's going to take guys that are coming back from injuries to step up and do their job. So I think that's kind of where at that moment, like we were close to potentially making a playoff spot. And at that end of the year where they think, oh, well, if he could have came in this situation, maybe we could have won. And now, obviously, hypothetically, like if I do my job correctly, like sure. But if I go in there and blow it, like what's the saying then? And I understand that, like, you would rather have that opportunity to say, look, we gave it the chance and he failed, but at least that he tried. But at the end of the day, to the Padres fans, I gave it my all, but it sucks that the business had to kind of put that sour taste in their mouth.
Yeah, I was all over this place when all that stuff came out. Look, there is, for a Padres fan, for the soon-to-be Astros fans of Josh Hader, this dude right here is a gamer, and he will get out there. Don't get it twisted, the whole like, oh, he's not going to throw the 8th inning because we're almost at 500 as a team. No, this dude is a gamer, and you are out there for the team. And in the playoffs, I know you want that ball. That's who you are.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kratz. It means a lot. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Hey, on that note, Kratz, we got to pump the channel a little bit. I caught some clips. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
yeah.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, let's. What do you got to say about it? All right, I need a little stricken outdoors.
Oh man, stricken outdoors. No, but no. I think you like the way you guys are doing it, the way that I'm trying to do it. It's give the fans a different outlook of us off the field, what I like to do, and away from the baseball. I think that's a different form of content that I think fans would really enjoy. So I'm trying to maybe give baseball tips. My buddy showed me how to hunt in middle school going into high school. So I fell in love with hunting, bow hunting. And so we just document our hunts, document pretty much anything we can and share it with fans.
Do you think this kind of stuff needs to be done more by players?
I mean, I think baseball is probably I wouldn't say the only sport, but there's a lot of people in baseball don't like to kind of release a lot of information or show outside life, just because I mean, you're very vulnerable when you're letting people inside your life like that. And I feel like baseball has always been that type of sport where it's been like baseball and that's it. Like you don't really see the fashion of guys, you don't really see lifestyles and different things like that. So I think, and two, like with us having the technology we have, we're able to bring them live direct content just in the palm of our hands. So I think just some guys just kind of letting loose and kind of showing people like what they like to do other than play baseball.
Don't you think this would grow the game? Don't you think this would?
Yeah.
If I mean, obviously, not everybody's a hunter giving pitching lessons, and not everybody's the elite, the best closer with the all MLB statues that you have behind you there, which is a nice humble brag by you. But not everybody's as big time as you. But don't you feel like this would help grow the game and also grow each player's platform for whatever they believe in or enjoy?
Yeah, I think it gives the viewer of or a fan of baseball access to their favorite player. Like I saw that I believe it was Netflix are following around doing Red Sox. I think in the next couple of years or maybe this year. I'm not really sure exactly
This year.
when, but yeah. So this year. So I think that is awesome. So, like for instance, F1 when they did that whole series, and I started watching F1 because of it. I think that's a way that you can get these fans into enjoying a different part of the game, and then they see this guy that they have the same interest in, and then they're like, all right, well, I'm gonna go check him out on the baseball field or whatever it may be.
Yeah, grows the game. Now, my one last comment is, have you changed? Actually, it's a question. Have you changed your hats to not be the mesh back? Because I can't be wearing no mesh back hats, getting burnt. Have you got some full fitted hats for the big fella to get?
I don't have full fitted yet. I'm still rocking the mesh, if you can tell. I know
I still have that
you're not
hat.
a big fan, but it's just hard for to sell different hats with fits because it's not easy to one size fit all. It's just you got to be so specific and make sure you have all those hats. So how about this, Kratzy? I'll get a hat your size, fit it, and then we can call it a deal. So you don't have to worry about the spots on the back of your head from the sun.
No, we don't. Yeah, we don't got time for that. Maybe like a JH sweatshirt too. I mean, I'm just saying.
We'll work it in. We'll work it in for sure.
Give it some pub. Yeah. Hey, the YouTube channel already got an extra 100 or 200 subs since we spoke about it. So I'll take that.
I appreciate y'all. Much love.
Of course.
Much love.
Everybody needs to check it out.
Yes. Agreed. And we'll post all about it coming up in just a sec when we get off with Josh. One more for you, because AJ and me are going to visit you. We'll do the double dip. We'll do the Nats camp and the Astros camp stop. So you ready for the Florida differential from Arizona?
Yeah, I'm a little bit ready. I'm not really sure. Last time I was in Florida, I was in minor leagues, Kissimmee. So much different than West Palm. But I'm excited. I think obviously the travel's a little bit different, but from what I've heard, it's a lot of fun, and obviously you play the same teams a lot. But I'm excited to get out there. Like I said, I like being outdoors, so I'm going to be getting a lot of fishing done. I'm going to be golfing, so I'm going to make sure I enjoy some Florida time.
You don't got no gray pants. You're not going on no road trips. Don't do that.
Shit.
We'll see. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, you know how that works.
Some great pants here in AZ though.
All we ask is that you hit Rowdy Tellez one time in spring training if you face him. Okay?
He's going to be visiting.
No
Promise. Book it. Love it.
Josh, thanks for joining us, dude. Obviously, we were excited to have you back since you signed. There's the page again for everyone. Josh.Hader71 is the YouTube channel. Check it out. Videos across the board, like you mentioned. You get some baseball, you get some outdoors life. And congrats on the new deal, dude. Astros fans are pumped. This is a big past month for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys for having me on. It was good to see you and talk to you guys.
Cheers, man.
Hader.
All right,
thank
take care,
you.
guys.
Josh Hader with us on FT Live. Good stuff. We'll see him in spring training in Palm Beach with the Astros when we take a little trip.
Is it getting warm down there now? I heard my parents are down there. They said it's getting better, sunnier at least. Not cool or beach weather yet, but it's getting there.
Yeah, we've escaped our frozen tundra days of what was it, like 55? We're back into the 60s and touching some 70s.
Kratzy, I don't know about you, but it's 52, so that's short sleeve weather for us. No.
Oh, we're having practice outside today. We're on the field. We're hitting grounded.
We're going Saturday outside. I can't wait.
Oh, it'll be 60 on Saturday here. It'll be delicious.
Woo. Oh, when it's 60 in Florida, I mean, not everywhere. I'll speak actually for Miami specifically. When I used to live there, that's when everyone gets excited and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to bring out all my winter gear. I got the
I got
boots,
new hoodies.
the winter coat, yeah, the hoodie, the whole
Kratz,
deal.
dude,
And you're like, it's
45
64
plus, we're
degrees.
good.
Yeah, got some
We're
long sleeve, just
outside.
long sleeve T-shirt.
I'm
That's all.
not. I got jersey in me though, so I can
No,
Yeah.
handle it.
you're
Kind of.
turning into a Floridian. I can
Yeah,
tell.
you're getting soft.
The
You
blood's
got
thinning.
you got the palm tree or whatever you call in the background. It's not a palm
No.
tree. I'm sorry. Whatever it
The
is.
ficus.
Ficus.
This is AJ.
Well, you put it there, so it's in the background now.
Hey, ready to focus on the Guardians for a few minutes because they
Let's
haven't
talk about
wanted
it.
us to talk about them, but we still are going to talk about the Guardians despite their lack of anything this offseason. Your BetMGM World Series odds for Cleveland plus 2,500 entering last season, by midseason plus 8,000, and at the moment they're at plus 6,600 to win the World Series. Now you have a better shot, obviously. I don't know if you guys are interested in this. If you check out their AL division odds, they're actually third barely. I mean, they're almost second highest to win the division. So you got minus 125 Twins and the Tigers, the Guardians, the Royals, the White Sox. Can I talk either of you into putting a little bit of coin down for the Guardians to win the AL Central? I'm not going down the World Series equation. Although, hey, Kratz, you said all you got to do is get in. So talk to me about the Guardians right now.
I'll take it. I'll take 375. It is enough up to grabs. They always bring up starting pitch, and we talk about getting through a season needing starting pitching. Do they have enough in their lineup? No. Maybe if they still had Nolan Jones. Maybe if they brought Edwin Encarnacion back again and Carlos Santana and Yan Gomes. Gone are the days right now where they have offense. Now, could I see them maybe picking somebody up? I felt like a 1-year Guardians deal for Jorge Soler if his market drops. I don't think his market will drop, but I like 375 in that division. I'm not taking 125 for the Twins, so I have to try to take somebody, either the Tigers or the Guardians.
Yeah, I think it's a toss-up. I mean, we haven't talked about the Royals and their signings. I mean, they could be a number 3, even maybe sneaker number 2 there. I'm not saying they'll win the division, not just yet. But, yeah, the Twins are going to be the Twins. They got a great bullpen. They got great staff. It's going to – it always seems it comes down to the end with these teams. So, yeah, I would dabble a little coin on there.
I need some offense there in Cleveland. You got to show me some life. I mean, I think the number last year from the outfield was 18 home runs.
Ooh.
You're screaming, can you please give me a Jorge Soler? How nice of a fit would that be there?
That's
Cody Bellinger's. How you doing?
Oh, well, that's a dream right there. But I mean,
that ship sailed.
This is a team right now that's operating, I think, in the 26 range for payroll, 25, 26, 27. It's bottom 5. Yeah. Whatever it is. I can't keep up. When the number's so low, it's hard for me. But it's frustrating because the pitching's there. Like you said, Kratz, the pitching's there. If they provided some offensive support, I feel bad for Jose Ramirez too. But, I mean, you got to give me more on offense. They've made some mistakes too. I mean, they've done a brilliant job. They pump out great pitching. Yep. But Nolan Jones for the Colorado Rockies was there. And he basically told us on this show, they said he strikes out too much. And he was like, F you, watch me.
They have a great formula. I've seen it for pitching, for starting pitching, and they've done a great job of acquiring bullpen arms. The issue is when you have a year where you have 18 home runs in the outfield, you have to be able to look, okay, I get it. We don't want to strike out, but maybe we need to swing a little harder. I know that's not the answer, but I'm saying you need to be able to make a little bit more damage, hard contact, or pitchers aren't afraid to throw to you.
Yeah, it's a good call on contact because, I mean, it's fun. We talk up contact, but at the same time, 100%. I mean, you need the blend. You can't just be a contact team and win a World Series these days. I mean, we always go through it the last, decade. You out-homer your opponent in the playoffs, you're usually winning.
Yep.
So you got to have pop.
Yep.
True.
Anyway, this Sunday is the big game. BetMGM is giving their online sportsbook customers the opportunity to win a grand prize of up to 58 G's if they predict the most big game prop bet questions correctly out of the eligible users. You can go to the promo tab in your app and create an entry in the big game prop bet challenge for an opportunity to win up to $58,000 if you predict the most big game prop bet questions correctly out of the eligible users. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, so let's bring this back. Evan Drellick has a little news for us. He also had the Olympic stuff from yesterday. If you want to check that out and get more details, I know we touched on it quickly with Hader. We can get more in depth on it tomorrow if we'd like. But here's one from Evan. Rob Manfred said the A's need clarity, quote, in the next few months as to where they're playing after this year and prior to their move to Vegas. Quote, it's clearly going to be someplace in the West. Manfred declined to specify how many / which locations remain in consideration. All right, so we can split the country in half, and we can take that west side left chunk and at least assume that they're going to be there. I'll tell you what's going on, Todd Father. My guess is the league's getting a little pissed off because guess what? They put the schedule together for 2025 early. They start to put the whole skeleton together. And if you're missing one team, you don't know where they're going to be, it fucks things up. So everything that they've said that they're going to do, we still haven't seen renderings for the new ballpark, real renderings. They did the fake ones to get the money. Come on. We haven't seen shit. I mean, if I'm the league, I'm getting pissed at this point. They're like, listen, we pushed you through, even though we think that you're a piece of shit and you're terrible at running a business, John Fisher. But can you at least give us a location next year? Can you at least give us a sketch of what this park's going to look like? I mean, this is like the kid in class who just doesn't even, you give him the test, he doesn't even pick up the pencil. He just doesn't care. He's like, I know you have to pass me because I'm an owner.
Yeah, I'm just very confused. I thought it was done. I guess it's not done. Then they're saying somewhere out in the West. I mean, what are we doing here?
My issue with it is we don't know. We don't know. We talk about this every single day. We talk about baseball every single day, and yet who else is covering this? Why is this not being brought to light more than by Evan Drellick? You know, it has to be something that we have to have more transparency with it. And we don't have any transparency, and there's really no answers to it.
Tim Kawakami wrote a great article. I know we've had him on. There are some people, the Brave, writing articles about it. And then I know in the past they've gotten shit from the A's, but I think the A's have even kind of quit on bothering anyone right now because they have their own problems. So we'll keep talking about it because it's hurting our sport. Todd Father, you're a player. It doesn't even matter if you're on the A's anymore. You're just a player, period.
Yeah.
You don't know where you're playing, you know, in the AL West in 2025. I know it sounds like first world, whatever. It's a baseball problem. It's no big deal, but
it's real.
They put this schedule together. Like this could affect a freaking, you know, concert that's going on in another ballpark in 2025. You know what I'm saying? Because they just have no idea how to make a schedule for one of the teams yet. They don't know where they're going to be. Like it's time.
Yeah.
You got to figure that out. It can't be that complicated.
Yeah. What do you just write the name in? You just say like X on there and hopefully they know exactly where they're going to be on the road. You know what I mean? So it's, it changes the game. Flights, scheduling.
San Francisco, there's some rumors that, you know, they still would potentially either play in San Francisco, which I have a hard time seeing, or in Oakland. If they somehow make some deal with Oakland to stay there for another year or two, I have a hard time seeing that. But if that does happen, like let's say you have penciled in Salt Lake City, and then, you know, Fisher comes to you 6 months later and can't figure that out because he wants too much money from them. And then they're like, oh, we were going to work out something with San Francisco. They have to blow up the schedule and start again. It's frustrating for the league at this point. I know most people can't talk about it, but we can.
Cares about
I just set the odds here. What are you guys taking? It's paying -300. They stay in Oakland until they move to Vegas. It's paying +250. They go to Sacramento / San Jose, or 3 + 600 is paying other.
I'm definitely not paying the first option. I don't think they're staying in Oakland the whole way through.
Yeah, but that contract, that TV contract, they got to stay in that area. And you know he wants that cash heesh.
Yeah, but they have to have a deal with the ballpark to stay. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying.
Or they they go to like a university and go to one of those top-notch universities and use that as the field. Not out of the woodworks. I mean, you never know.
Dude, they could play they might play on the moon. I have no idea what's going on at this point. So I'll take, what was so I'm definitely not taking the Oakland option. What was the other option?
250 in Sacramento.
Plus 250 Sacramento / San Jose. Still out of the jurisdiction.
It's out of the territory. So I'll take other. I actually think Salt Lake City is the front runner because they've at least been pushing hard that they want a team there. I think they want to prove that they deserve to have a team. And for them, it's kind of an ideal scenario.
Like a tryout?
Yeah, it's a tryout. You get to show off a city that certainly in my mind can field a team in the future. But the beauty of it for them is they know that they're not getting that team. So they're like, we have to deal with this loser, John Fisher, but at least we don't have to deal with him permanently. He's leaving. And then we get to prove that we deserve our own team.
At least we're not married.
Oh,
the only one not married is Scott. He needs to get married to it. All right.
There's no money that I would take to take John Fisher.
To bring John Fisher in and marry to that organization.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
There's principle involved here. So, all right, the saga continues. In my mind, it does sound like when you hear the boss of baseball say, "Need clarity," quote, in the next few months. To me, I feel like a little bit of tension and frustration starting to boil because
it's about time, man. The guy needs. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you.
Todd, okay, imagine this, right? You got to sit in a meeting where you own some super lucrative business, but if you say one bad word about one of the other owners, then you basically get like outed, not literally with your team, but they're just going to be against you for life. So they all have to be in cahoots and say, oh, we're going to vote for this guy. This guy's okay. So you have to take your own reputational hit to front a guy who's a disaster owner in our sport, who is poison in our sport. And then he keeps messing up. Eventually, you'd be on the phone with this dude, like, get your shit together because you're making all of us look terrible.
Yeah, there's got to be more to it that we're missing because this is just getting a little long and then people are getting irritated, bro. That's the nature of it. And you can't do anything about it, I guess.
I'll tell you the main problem. I'm going to generalize a little bit here, but when somebody makes a fortune and they're a brilliant business person and then they have a kid who's not qualified to continue the business, it's a problem. That's what's going on right now.
There you go.
Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. This dude was born on third base, thinks he hit a triple and can't get home.
That's why Kratzy's going to be the next owner of the Oakland A's pretty soon.
I hope so. Jeez.
With all that cock.
So. Hey, we'll keep talking about it. The Orioles have new ownership, and this is a renaissance period in Baltimore now. So anyway, we'll keep talking about it as the news flows. We'll get to the Olympic stuff tomorrow. We kind of ran out of time here, but at least we got Hader's take. Hader was awesome, by the way. That was a great interview.
Solid.
Oh, Kratz hats. What do you got?
Oh. Lehigh Batty, I don't pigs. Look at the little tail coming out. Yeah.
I'm gonna give that one a D.
Oh,
yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan of that one.
I'll be honest. I don't like the two-tone brim.
Yeah,
the logo. The logo, I like.
I don't like the logo because it doesn't even look like an eye to me. It looks like a piece of lumber. Not a fan.
Two-sided screwdriver.
D.
Yeah, I'm with you, Todd Father. That's a D for me.
Yeah.
That one's rough.
Don't say that.
We'll have a good guest list tomorrow. Jose Trevino is included.
Let's go.
Hell yeah! Oh, you got the glove. I like that.
Pitchers and catchers not only report to spring training, but they report to FT.
Exactly. We got a few others in the works. We'll show up. We always do. Unlike the A's. See ya on Friday.
See you later. Happy New Year.